The Protagoras Paradox. In Athens, the center of wisdom in ancient Greece, lived Protagoras, the most famous lawyer and philosopher of the time. Protagoras believed that knowledge and reason would elevate humanity, and he guided young people who wanted to pursue the path of wisdom. His students followed him with great respect, searching for deep meanings in his every word. Known not only for his understanding of laws but also as a philosopher who challenged the limits of logic, Protagoras taught young minds to sharpen their intellects on the most intricate subjects in the science of law. One day, a young man knocked on Protagoras' door. The young man, with his determined gaze and firm posture, made it clear that he was no ordinary student. However, he explained that he could not afford the tuition due to financial hardship. Protagoras saw the ambition in this young man and wanted to help him. Recognizing the potential in the aspiring lawyer, Protagoras offered him a special arrangement. "I will lend you the cost of your education," said Protagoras. "But you will only pay me once you win your first case. If you lose your first case, you will not have to pay me anything." The young man gladly accepted this offer. Under Protagoras' supervision, he underwent a long and challenging education. Days and months passed. Protagoras' student delved deep into the science of law and reached the skill level to solve complex cases. However, by the end of his training, the young man made an unusual decision. He decided not to take on any cases at all. He had completed his education and developed his skills, but he avoided taking his first case to avoid paying Protagoras. After a long period without the young man taking a case, Protagoras began to lose patience. He felt that his student was taking advantage of their agreement. When he reached the end of his patience, he confronted the young man and spoke sharply. "Young man, you must pay for my teachings. You cannot have forgotten our agreement. Your deliberate avoidance of taking a case is a betrayal of the effort and time I have invested. Therefore, I will take you to court and claim my tuition fee through legal means." The student replied calmly with a smile, "I will remain faithful to our agreement, teacher. However, if I prevail in court, I will still not owe you anything." And thus, the two found themselves swept up in the ironic twist of fate, facing each other in Athens' Grand Court. This trial was about to turn into a paradox that would demonstrate how the spirit of justice could be cut by the sword of logic. The day of the trial and the arguments of both sides. In court, the most distinguished citizens and wise people of Athens gathered. This case had been discussed throughout the city and was seen as a test of wisdom by the public. Protagoras and his student began to present their arguments before the court. Protagoras' argument. Protagoras rose solemnly and addressed the court. "Honorable judges and people, I have devoted years to my student, giving him my knowledge and time. Our agreement is clear. He was to pay me for his education upon winning his first case. Today, I am here before the court to uphold that agreement. Should I win this case, the court's decision will obligate him to pay me. However, even if I lose, my student will have won his first case. And according to our agreement, he must pay me upon winning his first case. Thus, regardless of the outcome, my student is obliged to pay me the fee for his education." Protagoras' reasoning left the minds of the Athenians bewildered. This argument, which pushed the boundaries of legal logic, led both the judges and spectators into deep contemplation. Protagoras' logic was so strong that no one dared to oppose him. However, the student patiently awaited his turn with confidence. The student's argument. After carefully listening to Protagoras' argument, the student stood up and turned his gaze to the audience. His argument shone with a contradiction to his teacher's reasoning. "Honorable judges, my respect for my teacher's knowledge and guidance is immense, yet I must defend myself in adherence to the essence of justice. If I am found justified in this court, then by the court's decision, I will not have to pay him anything. The court's ruling will confirm that I am not indebted to him. However, if I lose the case, our agreement specifies that I do not have to pay him should I lose my first case. Thus, it is clear that either outcome exempts me from any debt. The student's defense mirrored Protagoras' reasoning almost exactly. Everyone in the courtroom found themselves ensnared in a contradiction, as both parties appeared to be logically correct. The judges faced a dilemma in which they would have to resolve this paradox with their ruling. The paradox is contradiction and unsolvability. The court realized it faced an insoluble knot. The case between Protagoras and his student had turned into a logical loop. No matter the decision, a contradiction would arise. If a verdict favored Protagoras, the student would owe him and be required to pay. However, this would mean the student lost his first case, and according to their agreement, he would not have to pay Protagoras. If a verdict favored the student would win the case and thus not be required to pay by court order. Yet, this would mean he had won his first case, so he would owe Protagoras. This situation is accepted in the world of logic and law as an unsolvable knot. The court could see the logical trap in Protagoras' argument. However, it also had to acknowledge that the student presented a rational defense. This paradox, in which both sides were justified yet also entangled in contradiction, remained an unresolved mystery forever. Thank you for listening. Your comments and likes would be appreciated.